I do want to speak into, again, just the what Grant mentioned in his prayer, just the horrible, just despicable events of yesterday that in Virginia, and just again heartbroken to see racism rear its ugly head in our country and into such a violent way. I mean, literally, it was an act of terrorism that we saw yesterday. And so, a couple of things I want to say. First of all, as a church, we are to speak out against any form of racism, evil, or hate like this. I just remember whenever radical Islam was happening anywhere, just rising and spreading, so many people came up to me and said, "Hey, how come the peace-loving Muslims don't speak out against this?" And I go, "You're right. They should." Well, guess what? Now, I mean, it's our turn. When we see someone in our country behaving this way and spreading hate and killing people because of it, we've got to rise up and speak out against it and say, "This is evil. This is not of God. We should abhor this." Okay. But I think we got to go one step further as a church. And as a church, again, we need to model to our country and to the world how God's heart beats for all people, and how we are to be a people who are loving, and we, as a church, we're to model that better way. Racism is an affront to God because all men are made in His image. Okay? Racism is an affront to the gospel because the good news of the gospel reminds us that Jesus is our peace, who has brought down the dividing wall of hostility between Jew and Gentile. And so every race that we are to make peace with people, we're not to see ourselves as being better. And then thirdly, racism is an affront to heaven. I mean, I just think people, when they get to heaven, are going to be surprised if they think that their race is superior when they see a throne surrounded by people from every tribe, tongue, and nation praising Jesus. And so, friends, we are to be a people who not only speak out against it, but then demonstrate it. And so check our hearts. Check your heart. Is there any maybe subtle form of racism that comes into your heart that's equally as despicable, that you look down on other people who are of a different background or race, or maybe you don't associate with them? And so we are to be a church that stands up for this truth, okay? God, He has made all people in His image. And again, like you said, brother, He has a unique, special love for those who belong to Him. But His desire is that people would belong to Him from every tribe, tongue, and nation. And knowing that we were once not a people, but because of God's mercy we are to go out with love towards others.